Number 19 is a song that popped back up from underneath the top 20, which is Wildflower by Billie Eilish. And for this one, I do have another science fact. So, there is a species of wildflower called Helenium autumnale, and it is a North American species of poisonous flowering plants. And common names include common sneezeweed and large-flowered sneezeweed. And these flowers look a little funky. So they have an entire, like, bunch of florets, of as many as 800 florets on, like, one little, like, hemisphere ball. And then just, like, 11 to 21, like, petals just around it. And the thing is, in small amounts, the plant can actually have some different benefits to it, like different parts of it. And it's a pretty long list. Like, one of the ones that I remember reading was that making a tea out of it could be helpful for, like, parasite, like worms. Somehow.
Is that often an issue?
I mean, depending on the area.
Again, your mileage may vary. Who
And
knows?
you say each part of the plant does its own different thing?
Or it's like how you prepare it changes it. And so like, and then depending on which part you use. So just to explain like how poisonous it is, if you eat it in large quantities, it can cause gastric and intestinal irritation, which can become fatal. It also contains a specific thing called sesquiterpene lactones, which can cause a skin rash in some people, as well as the chemicals in the sneezeweed can poison livestock, particularly sheep. Because that sesquiterpene lactone helenin that is found in it has also been found to be poisonous to fish and dogs. So it is not a plant that you want to eat a lot of. However, would you like to know why it is called sneezeweed?
I would love to.
Does it make tons of pollen?
No, that is actually not the reason.
Good guess.
It is because there's a historic use of using the crushed dried leaves and heads to make a form of snuff that caused sneezing. So what snuff is, typically, is it is a type of smokeless tobacco product made from finely ground or pulverized tobacco leaves, and then it is snorted.
Right.
So they made
So
this.
it's somehow even worse than any other combination that you could do it.
Right.
So they took this poisonous flower, crushed it up to snort it, and
Oh, no.
the reason that they snorted this specifically, though, is because it did make you sneeze when you snorted it, as you can imagine.
Right.
And so then the reason why they did this was for a couple of reasons. One, it was thought to be a way to rid the body of evil spirits by sneezing, or a way to loosen up a head cold, because if you sneezed hard enough, they thought you just like you loosen up the mucus and everything, so that you could get through it faster. So yeah, so that's why it's called sneezeweed.
Yeah.
They kept snorting it.
It removes spirits, or so they thought, when in actuality,
It removes
if
spirits
anything,
from your body.
if anything, it adds spirits to you. It's poisonous. It is directly detrimental to the user.
Yeah, it's very well in large quantities. So as long as you snort
Okay.
a tiny amount, you should be
It reminds
Right.
me
If
of
you
a-
microdose on the sneezeweed.
microdose on the sneezeweed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it reminds me of another way that something poisonous is used, nightshade. Well, the medieval lord would be using it to poison his enemies. His wife would be putting it in her eyes to make her pupils dilate.
Yup, and also the blushing. It helps cause blushing as well to get more rosy cheeks.
Right.
The things we do for vanity.
The things we do. All right, moving on with the countdown. Again, this is Wildflower by Billie Eilish.